name is Christine Selecta. I am the art teacher at Wilson Schools in Wilson, Kansas. I am also the designer and painter of the world's largest hand-painted Czech egg in Wilson. Growing up, I attended schools in Wilson as well. I was lucky enough in high school to have Betty Kepka-Belton as my art teacher. She introduced me to Czech eggs, which is also called crossless. And for my 16th birthday, my parents bought me my first lap studio. I have been doing Czech eggs ever since. Today, I'm going to demonstrate for you an 8-pointed star design. This is one of the most popular designs because of the history behind it. The belief was that when a person is born, a star forms in the sky. That star is their guardian and fate throughout their life. When that person passes on, their star falls. Traditionally, Czech eggs were made by using a potato with the bottom sliced off, with a bent spoon placed in the potato, and a candle placed under the spoon to heat the wax. Kepka-Belton came up with the lap studio, which made this process safer and easier to use. The lap studio is a wooden box with a wax pot. The wax pot is placed over the edge of the box. In the pot, we melt beeswax with a little bit of crayon, black crayon, so we can see the wax on the shells we design. Beeswax is used because it can get hotter than most other waxes before it catches fire. To heat the wax, we use an alcohol burner. This replaces our candle. Candle would often produce carbon, sometimes damaging the egg. Also, a candle will drip, leaving wax mess everywhere. The alcohol burner is lit and placed under the metal wax pot away from the wood edge. Okay. To add the designs, we use kitskas, which are dowel rods. These kitskas have nails, pins, and writing tips. Some kitskas are a funnel shape that you scoop the wax into and heat. Those kitskas draw straight lines. The kitskas that I have here with the nails and the pins are used to do a drop and pull design, which is an elongated teardrop. The writing tool is then used for straight lines and signatures. Once the wax has melted, you use your kitska. Now, if I was to dip the kitska directly into the hot wax, almost immediately the wax hardens around the kitska and will not do a drop and pull on the egg. So in order to achieve a drop and pull, I need to place the metal end of the kitska into the flame for a count of 3. I go into the wax for a count of 3, and then the drop and pull on the egg is a 1, 2, 3. 1 being the touching of the egg and the first drop, and 2, 3 being the pull. If you use the same rhythm, you should end up with all of your drops and pulls being the same length. Okay, so I will demonstrate. 1, 2, 3 in the flame. 1, 2, 3 in the wax. 1, 2, and 3 for your pull. I'm using a very large tool so you can see the drops and pulls. I'm going to switch to a smaller one. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. It should feather out to a nice point at the end. Same here. That is a drop and pull. Okay, the process of doing the eggs, I start out with my plain egg and I give myself some guidelines by drawing a around the egg completely. Dividing the egg in half. Then I divide it into fourths. And then my last division is around this direction, dividing it into eighths. Sometimes I will start out with just this grid and start adding my lines. Other times I will go ahead and draw out a design on the egg to follow. I'm going to go ahead and start. In my lap studio, I've got the wax heating up. As soon as it's completely melted, I take my tool, move the flame away from the wax pot just a little bit, and by going straight down with my tool, I can get a circle. And then if I take on the side and I drop 1, 2, 3, and I get a drop and pull. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay, and there is a star with 4 points. Most of the time you have an 8-pointed star, so I'll go back in between each one of these. And add another leg of the star. Okay, and there's an 8-pointed star. Okay, now my next step would be to dye this whatever color I want. Right now, where the wax is, everything will stay white because that was the color underneath the wax at the time. So I would start with my lightest color. In this case, we're going to go with yellow. Now this is a vinegar-based dye, so it eats into the shell, but it is a non-food dye. In this case, this egg is floating, so I'm gonna have to hold it down in. Some dyes are just a real quick 30-second dye. Some dyes take as long as 20 minutes. Just keep dipping it till I get the color I want. Side. Okay, once the egg has been colored, you can pull it out of the dye, pat it dry, and it's changed the shell. So now when I draw on this, whatever is under the wax that I add at this time will stay yellow. So let me go ahead and light my alcohol burner, heat my wax back up, and select my tool. Once your wax is melted, remove the heat from directly under it. Keep it close by just to keep it warm. Okay, I'm going to heat my tool again, dip it into the wax, drop and pull. I'm going to add more legs to the star going in between each of the other original poles. Some of the lore behind the designs that I was taught was you always want to have positive numbers of things, even numbers. Having an odd number is bad luck. So you keep stars with 6, 8, 12 points. Okay, so everything I just added there is yellow. One other thing I will do is I will take my pen tool. This is for making straight lines or for any signatures or writing you want to do. So now we have our yellow design and we're ready to dye it red. Now that the second dyeing process is complete, we're ready to add the red design to our egg. I'm going to go back in one of my nail tools and I'm going to just add dots between each line. Remembering to heat my tool as I go, so the wax does not just stick to the tool and drops off onto the egg. Okay, 2 more dots. Okay, and our red is complete. After all other colors have been added, your final step is to dye the egg black and then remove the wax. Again, you just pat the egg dry, not rubbing it. And here's what it looks like now. So we're ready to remove the wax. To remove the wax, you're going to light your alcohol burner, taking it out of the lap studio. Using a paper towel, you directly hold the wax part of the egg into the flame, lightly wipe, making sure you don't do this too fast. Heating the egg too much at one time can cause it to cook inside and break the egg. So slowly remove sections of wax. Revealing the colors. This is probably my favorite part of doing the eggs, having the color be revealed. Almost there, one more little spot. And there's our final product. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any questions or would like to see some more of my eggs, you can visit my Facebook page. That's Eggciting by Christine Selecta. Thank you.